Hi, I'm Sarah.
I'm David. We got to talk about Drag Race Season 13, Episode 12. It's the roast.
Oh boy, the roast. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, there's a link in the description. You can join us there as well. Okay, this roast. Ooh, boy.
You know what's hard to watch? People who aren't funny telling
People
jokes.
who aren't funny. And somehow it's even worse with no audience. Like sometimes like when there's an audience to cut to that's crickets, it's still kind of like, oh yeah, it's still kind of entertaining because they're like seeing the audience not laughing. And now it's just the judges not laughing.
I don't know how he does it, Seth, but David.
Oh, Seth, thank you. Honestly, the hair's
all.
out of control, Seth. It's out of control. It's gotten bad again, and I'm aware. And I have a haircut scheduled for April 10th. And that's as soon as we can get it done.
You wear it well. Apparently, your hair can be a mess,
like
and the rest of us are
so.
jelly. Well, back to this episode. We're going to start with a mini challenge where we're going to star in a makeup tutorial that they're going to pair off. And ultimately, one person's going to do your arms and one person's going to have the face and be talking. Yeah. And did you notice these pairs, David?
I did, but what were your thoughts? What are you alluding to here?
In general, you know, they go, so pair up. And they've done this several times this season. And, you know, a Candy will grab a Got Mick. You know, like you grab your closest best friend.
The go-tos. Yeah.
Yeah. And we have this wide shot, go to your pairs. And I see like, you know, people reaching over to the weirdest, who was it? Simone reached over, like way over to Utica. Oh no.
Oh.
Got Mick. Got Mick goes like this to Utica. And I was like, nope, this is produced. What is this?
Oh yeah. And it was a bit weird. I do remember thinking like Rosé kind of like hopped over to Candy. And I was like, since when have they been close? Like not that they're enemies necessarily, but like, you're right. Like a Candy and a Got Mick would be going for each other. Got Mick is not going for Utica.
It was obviously very produced, but they tried to play it off. They're like, aha, let's do it. And then from there on, I was like, this whole episode's very produced. Very.
It is. Well, and I want to point out, speaking of it being very produced, Sarah, that at the beginning, when we're like coming into the workroom from, you know, Tina going home and we get that whole spiel, the narrative we're getting at the beginning is, Candy, you're the only girl left without a win. What are you going to do about it?
Only girl without a win here, which is fun when we're cracking a joke. But yeah, they're really setting us up here.
But I love this challenge with the arms and the makeup. They've done a version of it. I think season 6 was the first time I saw it. They did it with legs and it was hilarious. Like you're sitting on top of the person and they're like doing all these crazy things with their legs. It was like a dance kind of a thing. Obviously not a makeup tutorial with legs. It was a dance thing. But I just love any version of this. And I really enjoy that they don't overuse it. Some mini challenges, they're like the puppet thing. It's tired. I don't want to see anybody impersonate anybody else with a puppet because it's just not funny anymore because you do it every season. This one, they're spacing it out a little bit and it slaps every time. And this one was no exception for me.
Well, I mean, a makeup tutorial doing it? Yes, please. That's the most funny way to do it is have someone just like throwing the stuff up there and you have to off the cuff be like, yes, a mascara glue on my lips. Absolutely.
I mean, how good was Rosé leading this off, Sarah? I thought she was so hilarious and just like had she was just so good off the cuff with whatever Candy was doing in front of her. So funny.
Yeah. I mean, I thought they all did well. It was all cute. Everyone did well. But yeah, Rosé and Candy absolutely killed. And I don't think it was by accident that the two of them went together. They then get to win this challenge, obviously, clear winners. And then they're given the ability to choose the order. They're like, all of this It's just
all of it feels intentional.
Mm-hmm.
Feels intentional. I did also really like Utica and Gottmik in the tutorial, only because Utica's arms made absolutely zero sense on Gottmik's body. Like they weren't even like normally. If we were doing this, Sarah, you would like stick your arms like under my armpits and do the makeup on my face.
Yeah.
Utica's arms were just like wrapped around Gottmik. Like it was ridiculous. And I thought it was so funny. And then she's like feeding Gottmik the makeup with her finger. It just was great. I really liked it.
It was pretty silly. Very cute. They win some Anastasia makeup.
Sure.
Really good makeup. Good.
It's true.
Great.
Good
Love
stuff.
It. And now we find out that the real challenge of this episode is the roast.
The roast. Who's funny and who's not? And boy, we got some knots in this group.
A lot
Sarah.
more knots than funny. Not gonna lie. Honestly, and hello, do I have to say I'm, a Utica stan, but I really thought by the end of this episode, you guys saved Utica for the roast.
For the roast.
Instead of saving Tina. We could have had Tina for this roast.
Okay. I don't want to be mean about someone who's gone, right? She's out of the competition, but Tina did post a roast on Twitter, and Sarah, it's terrible.
Okay. Wow.
Like literally, my friend sent it to me, and I couldn't even finish it. It was so bad. And this is something that she edited and posted herself.
She had a lot of time to do.
And like there were laughs edited into it, like a laugh track, but it's edited into all the wrong places. It's so weird. Like I was just like, okay, yeah, we didn't need Tina. I thought we needed Tina for the roast. Yeah. I thought this was her challenge. I don't think it was. It wasn't. Funny.
Look, I was not under the delusion that Tina was going to win that episode. I still think we would have had the two winners here, but
better than Utica. I mean,
could have been better than Utica, though, right? Come on, could have been. Could have been. Okay, so this one we're going to have our Miss Congenialities back. Heidi, love her, only one I know.
Okay, yes. I mean, Nina West is kind of like. It feels at this point like everybody kind of considers her the Miss Congeniality of the series. Like, she's just known for being liked and so like positive. Like that's her thing. So, I think it was fun to see her back. And then Valentina, of course, fan favorite, eternal fan favorite. She's not Miss Congeniality. She's fan favorite. That was a whole thing that season. And actually, not to get too into like teaching you about the history of Drag Race, but that's what I love to do.
Yeah.
It used to be fans who voted for Miss Congeniality up until Valentina. And she was just the fan favorite. Like all of the other queens were like, you are not congenial. You are fan favorite. But you are not congenial. And then the next season is when they started voting for Miss Congeniality among the queens.
Among themselves. Got it. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, we do have some people here who are nervous. Gottmik's like, Simone's like, Olivia's like, got some hesitant people here. But Candy and Rose, given the job of ordering everyone.
Oh, yeah.
They know the coveted spots.
They do. They made a whole meal out of this segment of like, you two go over here and you're going to strategize and chat about where everybody's going to go. Like this was an extended segment for this. Like normally it's like 30 seconds of the queen being like, what am I going to do? But this was like, well, we all know that the most coveted spots are first and last. So we'll go first and last. And then, they've tried to make it a big thing about where everybody else is going to go.
And now I do feel like Rose knows this. She's a performer on the side of knowing I want to open or close. But again, I was like, wouldn't be surprised if the producers were like, and you guys know the coveted, like opening, like, like those are the spots.
Right. Just like, I know this happens every season, and every season we talk about first and last are best, but just as a reminder,
just you guys,
that first and last are best.
Yeah. That's how I felt like all of this whole thing was going. So we get into our coaching, and I mean, it's kind of as expected. Like they're enjoying Candy, but she needs to pronunciate. She needs to speak clearly. That's a good note for her. Gottmik is like so not wanting to do this. She's super nervous, but they're actually laughing and saying, yes, go with this.
I know. Wasn't she the one where it was like, she almost didn't want to say anything. She didn't want to audition anything because she was kind of afraid of like falling on her face, even in rehearsal. And it's like, girl, that's what this is for. Like, this is the testing ground. So you can get rid of the stuff that doesn't work. Like, you almost want it to not work here if it's not going to work, so you can pivot. But she's so tense about like, I'm just afraid I'm not funny. And I think she needs to up her confidence in that realm, because Gottmik is very funny. She won the Snatch Game and she did good here. Like, she was definitely top 3, I think.
Yeah, she's definitely coming into her own for sure. Yeah. Olivia, just not funny.
Just not funny.
In the coaching, they're just not funny.
Did she do the childlike delivery in the coaching? I don't recall. That threw me for a loop. I was like, where did this come from?
Yeah. I mean, I think they talked in the coaching about, you have this sweet, smiley thing about you, go with, they were like, go with it and hit them. I think they were trying to push her, but she was like, she took the wrong note, I think. She was like, I'll go with it.
It's the wrong thing.
Rosé slaying the coaching. They're just laughing and loving it.
So good. I was laughing. I was like, Rosé's great at this. And it really does feel like this, from what we've seen up to this point from all of these girls, this is Rosé's and Candy's to win. Like, if Candy's gonna win anything, this is what Candy does. She talks trash about people. She's been doing it all season. So if you get to come out and make jokes at other people's expense, okay, it's kind of built for Candy. But also Rosé just gets the timing of it. Yeah. She knows how to structure the joke. It just was great. I thought the rehearsal was fantastic.
Rosé is just an all-around performer. She understands all of it. Presentation, timing, movement. I mean, she just has it down. Candy, I was really impressed with Candy's self-awareness when she was, really vying for I want to open, is because, she is funny and she can read you, but she's not good off of the cuff necessarily. And so she was not willing to rewrite. She would have bombed if she needed to rethink something by the time she was closing. And I was happy to hear her say that, because I think that that's true.
Yeah. Whereas she's Rosé, like, let me just do my jokes first. Yeah. And then if I use one of your jokes, you're more capable of coming up with a backup. Like, I just need to do my stuff and get off the stage.
And, Rosé can do it all. Honestly. Simone, she's like explaining her jokes to the coaches and they're like,
always bad. It's always bad when you're explaining.
And then Utica. Oh dear. She's just like insulting Lonnie Love
to her face.
And doubling down on it.
Yes. It's like again, I'll say it. You want to find the stuff in rehearsal that's not working. So at least she tried it. But then I couldn't tell if she really was this cringy or if it was maybe the edit. And I think maybe it was a little bit the edit of like, they're giving her a note and she's just not hearing it at all. She's like, oh, you don't like that? Okay, well, I'll make it 3 times worse then. And I'll say it again. Yeah. And it's like, you're not that socially unaware, Utica, right? Like, please tell me that's the edit.
I hope so, because I was like, oh dear. I mean, but we then cut away and like she feels great about it. Olivia feels great about it. My note is Olivia and Utica the most delusional. Like, they're both like, we're good to go.
We're good. Oh, my rehearsal went great. I think everything landed. It's like, no, you can't really believe that.
Like, what?
Oh, yikes.
Yikes. And yes, that too was my favorite.
Yes. That's very that. It's very that.
Okay. So we go into the roasting. Now, I'm disappointed we didn't have any sort of runway. Like, this is it. We get the roast.
I know, because part of it was like, At least give these girls who are painfully unfunny a chance to redeem themselves with like another aspect to this, right? But I think when I was watching it with my friend, he was like, no, they do this. Like with the roast, it's just the roast. And there's nothing to save you other than this.
Yeah.
I mean, they are in looks, right? Like I do think some people, I was not gagged over Utica's getup the way that everybody else was. I don't know how you feel, but I was just
honestly,
like, this is not her best look. And I thought Candy looked great. I was like, Candy's got a waist now all of a sudden. And like, I thought that, you know, she was kind of improving with the look department for this roast.
Well, let me pull up it's not great looks here because they didn't really give us great looks. Yeah. But I will pull up.
Let's see them. I got thoughts.
Here's Candy's. She I have to mute it. Can't do that. This dress. You love this dress?
I like the shape of this dress. You know, we don't necessarily always see her like cinched in like that.
Yeah.
Kind of oftentimes does just more like, this is my body. Here's what it is. I'm not trying to like create an illusion that my body is anything other than what it is. So I just kind of liked seeing this hourglass figure. I agreed with the judge's critique that she could have done a little bit more with the wig. It's a bit boring. But I thought she looked really good here.
Okay. That's nice of you. It's definitely Candy's look. Like this kind of, you know, just trying to be a glamorous. I do appreciate the shape, but like the top part doesn't look.
Yeah, she needs work with the
here. And I don't know. I didn't love her makeup or her hair, but I guess
maybe that
is a look.
Maybe my standards are low because let's be honest, we're coming off of that latex nightmare from last week. And I just haven't really loved or even liked a whole lot of what Candy has shown. And so I'm going to give her some snaps for this one.
Yeah. No, I agree with Hunter. Looks a bit like H&M. Like
At least it has stones on it. At least it has rhinestones, Hunter. Did you see that whole thing on UK Drag Race, Sarah?
I saw like memes and I just know
RuPaul said, I don't want to see any F in H&M.
Yeah.
It was a whole thing. So,
and I think he just saw it. But I will say Candy's roast slayed. She was funny.
Killed. Yes. She was so funny. The Ru thing, I thought that RuPaul joke was hilarious when she's like, I told RuPaul to act her age. She died. I thought that was so good.
And it was cute. She nailed it. She landed it.
Yeah.
So for sure, I definitely agree that Candy's roast was great.
Really strong.
And just to jump ahead with the judging, I just felt like they were so excited. They were like, our Candy, she finally did something. We can actually give her the win, you guys.
Yeah. Literally, they were like, oh my God, like this girl who we're gonna put in the top 4. Yes. Finally, she gets to win something.
Finally.
Oh, thank God.
I was like, guys, you're really making it clear here. You guys have just been waiting. Okay, Simone is our next one. Simone,
Yikes. Here. No. We don't have the sound. We don't do that on this channel.
Do not.
She looks great, I think, here. I love this. I think she looks beautiful. Her skin is always just so gorgeous to me and like shiny. And I do feel like she was trying here, like, I'm going to look good. Yeah. Because I know I'm not funny. Yeah. But even this couldn't salvage it.
No, this could not salvage it, but it's gorgeous. And see, like, she also is just going for glamorous, glamorous lady. And I just like this better than, Candy's look. And
I think you're totally right. Yeah. Like Candy's is definitely more like, I'm going to the club kind of thing. Yeah. And this feels like I'm at a roast. I'm at like a black tie event almost,
red carpet affair. Yes. Yeah, but unfortunately, her jokes. This one had crickets. This was just a bunch of crickets.
I don't understand why she was doing that character. Simone, we've seen it. You know what I mean? Like, you did it during the Lifetime movie. You did it in your Sweet Tooth commercial. We've seen this kind of like vocal affect. And I guess, yeah, that's Simone's thing. But like, try something else. And also, I don't think you really need to try anything here. Just be Simone. You don't have to be a character in this roast. I think it would have been better if she'd just laid off this, accent character thing and just delivered the jokes.
Maybe. I think that's
the material
goes too, though. Like, I think that her character is very much her. So I'm not sure there's a big difference there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's just how she performs. I don't know. But it didn't work. Did not work out. Next up, though, is Utica. Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. No. We don't have the sound. We don't do that. I don't get this look. They were like, this is great. And I was like, this is honestly, of all the look, like, I really have kind of like stood by a lot of Utica's looks that the judges have not liked all season when they've been like, this doesn't make any sense. It's all disconnected. This is the one that I look at. And I'm like, this is all disconnected. There's like 10 ideas here.
Yeah, I agree with you. When Rue was like, this is your best look, I was like, this is the problem, Rue. You think this is the best look. Utica has shown up every week and blown our minds. And Rue was like, this is Upper West Side or something. And I was like, what?
Upper West Side of what?
Of where? What area? Yeah.
Yeah. I just couldn't. And like,
I don't know.
Like, the wig is horrible. The bangs on the wig look bad. Like, I mean, every wig looks like a wig, whatever. But like this, you're like, did you just take that out of the bag and you didn't even like brush the bangs to make it look I didn't get it. And I normally love for like mixture of patterns and all that stuff.
Maybe like up close, it's very chic. Because it's like full body shot. I was like, maybe it's like the coat over a very chic dress, like maybe, but it did not translate. And Utica doubled down on, let me just be super, super mean. Mm-hmm. And the only laugh we got was when Lonnie heckled back.
Oh my God. And if I were bombing that hard.
Yeah.
And she knew it too, right? Like, she's acknowledging like, woo, boy, this is not going well, everybody. Like, she acknowledged it in the set. If that were me, what I would do is immediately start roasting myself. And I would just roast myself for the rest, because you've lost the audience. Anybody else you try to make fun of, they're going to be like, no, sweetheart, like, you're failing. And that's exactly what Lonnie did. Like, oh, you're trying to come for me? Well, you're doing terribly. Like,
hello,
what?
You are the one bombing currently in this moment. And it's so like,
just turn it on yourself, roast yourself for the rest of the way. And that will, like, I think, endear people to you again. Maybe she could have salvaged it that way.
Yes. And then she asked Rue to stand up, and Rue was like, girl, you just bombed this entire set. And no, I will not, thank you.
Again. You think you're going to tell that my name is on this show, and you think you're going to tell me when to stand up? No, ma'am. I also did love RuPaul's runway look, because it was a full tuck moment. Like, we don't normally see Ru's like panty line in the front. Everything was spot on correct there. And
it was like lace-ish. Wow. I loved it. Yeah, it was gorgeous.
So maybe that's why she was like, I'm not standing up because my business is not. I took it out in order to sit down here and be comfortable for the roast.
I've been sitting for a couple hours here. So I know. But it didn't matter what the reasoning was. It was like, Rue's like, no, you've already bombed this entire set. Whatever this last joke is, not worth me standing up. The energy that it would exert. Yeah.
And Rue got the biggest laugh of the whole roast, frankly. Yeah. Like, I'm certain that RuPaul was like, this is going to be a viral moment. If I do the double finger, and she did it.
She did it, and it was great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was fantastic. Okay, there's going to be audio talk over.
Oh, no, we don't do that. We don't do audio. You can't hear it. No, you don't hear that. What are you talking about? There's no audio on this. There we go.
Okay, so this has got Mick up next.
I thought Gottmik did well. Like
Did
she
really
didn't
well.
kill it in the way that Candy and Rose did, but she really needs to have more confidence in her humor because it's there. Like she needs to consider this like a skill in her toolbox and run with it because she's funny.
Yes. And look at this. Look.
Great.
Like this is gorgeous and it's stylish. And it's not from H&M, although I shop at H&M, but I'm saying for your runway, don't do it.
Yeah. It's got the great structured shoulder. You know, obviously everything she wears fits her perfectly. Yeah. And, you know, it's not, I think it totally makes sense for her to go this route, which is kind of more traditional, more formal. Normally from Gottmik, we see these like punk rock, like highly conceptual looks. And here she's more toned down. And I think it fits the moment. And it's really smart. I like it a lot.
Oh, Sophie, I guarantee you Rue wears sweatpants or something.
I would.
Yeah, you walk out in your red carpet look and then you sit down in your like work from home look, right?
Hello,
I wear sweatpants. Yes. I only give this to you guys up here.
If you knew how many times I had streamed with pajama pants on, like, get out of here. I'm not getting dressed from the waist down to do this. And RuPaul walks down that runway in heels and is like, get these things off my feet. Like that, the only time RuPaul is wearing high heels on this show is for that runway walk. That's it.
Yes. I had to grab this still because the first thing Gottmik says is like some joke about Utica bombing so bad and then made this face. And I was like, this is amazing.
No, but all of us.
Also, Gottmik, it shows off your gorgeous makeup. I mean, I know she's a makeup artist, but like legit. So good.
Yes. And the thing about like her makeup here and like so many times this season is that this is not the makeup she's known for. Like she's known, and she said it, she's known for that clown white look. That's her signature. And she switched it up so often and so effectively. Like she came into the show and she's like, I'm not even going to let the judges give me that note. I will show my signature face a couple of times, but I will not let them like say you're getting stuck in a box with the white face. Right. Like she was just ready to mix it up. I really liked it.
Yeah. And like you said, she nailed her jokes. Really, really good set. You know, not obviously not the winner, not polished. Right. But just really, really great. Lots of lulls.
Yes.
Really good.
For sure. Okay. She did a great job.
Olivia is up next.
Oh,
our dear
I just could not. I was like, what?
Olivia.
Somebody needs to pull you aside and be like, this kitty voice character is maybe like something we should move on from. You know, you tried it and it's not working. So let's try something else. Yeah.
Like hop, hop, hop.
Yeah. And I think her material was actually kind of decent, but I think her delivery killed it. I think she would have done better. You know I kind of said the same thing about Simone earlier, but I believe it more firmly with Olivia, that if she had just been straight up about it and said her jokes, I think that there was better stuff there than we kind of realized.
Maybe her delivery wasn't great. She might have had good jokes and we just couldn't tell because her timing isn't great.
Yeah, you're right.
Or maybe she was doing too much of the character and not allowing any of the timing. But this look is very her.
Yeah.
I have no problems or issues with this look. It's very cutesy, very young. It's her palette.
Yeah. I think her, you know, she's just always gorgeous. That's a fact. I think the wig is good for her. I don't really like the dress. But it's not
I don't like it, but it's
not abysmal. Yeah.
Yeah, Sophie, that's the point is like we get Olivia, you're very sweet and smiley, but you're not a child.
Right.
Like, there is a line here that she keeps like stepping over into, I'll be a young kid. And I don't understand that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Maybe she feels like, oh, nobody's ever done this, but it's kind of like, well, there's a reason. It turns out that nobody's ever done that.
Maybe it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the problemo. Okay. Oh, one more.
Uno más. This, before we even get
one.
into like the set, this look from Rose, I think was my favorite look I've seen her in on the run. Well, I also did love the like actual Rose with the fascinator. I loved that look. But this, I think, is like just so over the top.
This look
like
is amazing. The most amazing thing I have ever seen. I think I stood up and applauded when Rose walked out in this. Are you kidding me with this look?
Oh my God.
I love it so much.
If you saw that jacket in a thrift store, you'd be like, I don't care how much it costs. I need to own it. Like, it's just so stupid and 80s and like the giant puffy shoulders with the fringe with the like, you know, brocade. What is that? Like bejeweled on the top and the train in the back. It's the stupidest jacket that's ever been made. And I love it.
It's only good for stage because yes, the 80s had big shoulders and fringe, but this is to the degree, which is what, you know, they always ask for with the hair. Like, good hair, but give it to me bigger, which obviously Rose did. And Rose was like, I want big shoulders, but give it to me bigger. You know, it's just so overdone, but so perfectly. Oh, it is. My God, I love it so much.
And the hair is genius. Like, it's got a mohawk vibe to it. The color just is so perfect with this. It's just like head to toe. This look is a knockout.
Yes. I mean, I too love an 80s moment. And she delivered with this. And then guess what? She also delivered with her set.
She did. I thought she was better in rehearsal, honestly.
Yeah.
But I thought she was super fun. I mean, God, look at her face. She looks so good. She looks so freaking good. But I did think she was funnier in rehearsal.
Yeah. I mean, I maybe just like the nerves of being up there, just coming off of these horrible Olivia and Utica ruining the whole vibe.
Sure,
I don't know. I don't know. But unfortunately, you know, you're kind of like, well, I don't think she won. You know, it was really great. But unfortunately, even though I was like, if we're adding in look at all, then she wins because this look really takes
so
great
good.
Comedy up
it's notch, like somebody took their wedding dress and said, make me a ridiculous jacket out of this wedding dress. And then they did it. Yeah. Like, that's what it looks like. It's so over the top. God, I'm obsessed with it.
It looks like Dolly Parton would have worn this in the 80s.
Yes.
Or,
oh my God.
Like, this is a little bit country, 100% 80s.
Yeah.
Like, if we found 1984 CMT Awards, like, I feel like this is.
Yeah.
So love it. So love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved Rose's set. Yes, it was a little bit better in rehearsal, but super funny, great performer. We've already said all of this stuff, but just reiterating how much we love Rose. And her. She's just peaking at such a good time.
It is so true. I mean, sometimes I get a little bit annoyed at the like peaking late in the competition narrative, because in my opinion, you're peaking when there are fewer people to compete against. Winning early is almost more impressive because you're beating out 13 people for this win. Rose, you know, if she had won, well, Candy this week wins versus 5 people. It's just, to me, it's less impressive. But you know, in terms of like the narrative of a reality show, it does make sense that like as you're nearing a finale is when you sort of want to be like emerging as this superstar talent.
I do agree with you. That's what makes Simone so amazing is like she won, took a couple weeks off, took a couple weeks off, like she is, even though she's not great at some of this comedy stuff, she's a big winner in this season. And so if you were just now getting your first win today.
Okay.
So this is when, you know, the judges are like, did you see Candy? Did you see Candy? Oh my God, Candy, right?
Our girl.
Candy?
Did you see our girl? We love her.
Girl, Candy. She's a winner, right? She's a winner. And yes, they finally were able to give Candy a win.
Yeah.
Finally, Candy won something. And
it did feel, you know, we're joking, we're being funny here, but it did feel justified. Like, when
Agreed.
Candy was saved in the lip sync, that didn't feel justified, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this does feel like she earned it. She deserves this. Way to go, Candy. I do agree with you, Sarah, that if we're taking a look into consideration, maybe that puts Rosé over the top. But in terms of the roast performance, yes, Candy was the best.
Yeah, she was. It was a little disappointing because the first thing they say is, Rosé, you're safe. And you're like, okay, well
now we know what's happening.
And they're like, Candy, you're the winner. Oh my God, everybody's so excited. They tell us that Gottmik and Olivia are safe. And honestly, now did you think that this was our bottom two?
I did. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. I was a little surprised. I felt like it would be Olivia and Utica.
I mean, in terms of the narrative of the season, I see that. Like, to me, not to like jump ahead too much, but like Olivia and Candy are on opposite trajectories here. Like Candy's surging a little bit here, and Olivia seems to be falling after like kind of a really strong mid-season showing.
Yeah.
So, you know, in terms of that trajectory, yeah, I could have seen Olivia on the bottom two. But for me, the worst two performers were Simone and Utica.
Okay. Well, when Olivia was safe, I was a little surprised, and I was like, wait, really? I just have a hard time putting Simone in the bottom two, and that might just be my bias. But then I thought, okay, we said this last week. We know it was Utica's time to go. Like, we knew that already.
We did.
She bombed horribly. We know it's Utica's time to go. So for a second thought, I wonder if they put Simone next to her in the final two just to really like make it clear Utica was
knock her
home.
out.
There's no way Simone was going home.
You're not beating Simone in a lip sync. I don't know. Maybe you could beat Olivia in a lip sync. I don't know.
Right.
But you're not beating Simone in a lip sync.
That was just something I thought. Like, maybe it would have been too close with Olivia. But anyway, we get a Simone Utica lip sync, and I don't think it mattered if Utica killed this or not.
I think you're absolutely right. Here's my thing with Simone. I love Simone. We all know this. It's a documented fact. Roll of tape. Yeah. But I'm a bit bored with her lip syncs at this point because it's like, I feel like I've seen it. You know what I mean? Like, I just wish that she had like one or two more tricks in her bag to pull out a death drop, like something other than just like swinging her neck around and like, you know, cocking an eyebrow and rolling her eyes and doing a funny face. Like, that's kind of what she's brought to every lip sync. And so, I don't know, I'm just getting a little, I do think she won the lip sync over Utica, legitimately, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with you. We have that complaint about Candy. It's same old.
Yeah.
And so I can see why you would feel that way about Simone. Simone's fashion choices are just amazing. That's
incredible.
Really what gets it.
And I think it's maybe just part of this like extra long season. Like, maybe really the sweet spot for Drag Race is 13 episodes. Because when you start to stretch it longer, you kind of start to see more of their limitations, you know, like they have specialties. And those specialties start to feel less special the more you see them, you know? So maybe we should just keep that season a little tighter next time.
Maybe. It's possible. Well, sad to see our girl Utica go. She wiggled into my heart, and I love her looks. I love her fashion. I love her kookiness. But I do agree, like, her jokes didn't land. Comedy was not her thing. And she wasn't going to make the top. That's for sure.
People were offended too. Like, she's been getting quite a bit of backlash on the social medias about all of her fat jokes, essentially. And you know, I'm not in that like community, I guess, if you think of it that way. So I can't really speak on it, but like, I saw like Michelle Visage and Nina West both replied to her on Twitter, because she like issued this apology, like, oh my God, like my performance was so offensive and I am so sorry, truly, truly. And Nina and Michelle were both like, girl, it's a roast, relax. Like, don't be so hard on yourself. Like, we were both there, and you know, you just weren't funny. And that was the issue. Like, if you had been funny, we wouldn't be talking about this, you know?
Oh yeah. I think it was Rosé called Candy a roast. I mean, that's a fat joke.
Yeah.
Like, but Rosé landed it, and it was funny. So it's not like she was the only one to go to size. But you do, like, there was a quote from Utica at one point. She was like, I'm still struggling to find out what's comedy and what's offensive. And it's like, oh my God, well,
she is, because
tough place to be.
Yeah, but like, she was not offensive as Bob Ross. She was not offensive in Simone's Baps look. But now, you know, sort of like in this roast, she's like, I think this is funny, and I'm not worried about this being offensive at all. And then she, you know, ends up being kind of offensive. So she kind of is learning what's offensive and what's not.
And I say keep working on it. And I do, we don't always talk about Untucked, but I did. There was a moment I liked where Utica is sort of talking about her journey and how maybe there were things she should have dealt with before she came on the show, like stuff that has sort of surfaced, which I have to imagine happens often. All of a sudden you're put in this new little pressure cooker and things come up that you hadn't really realized before. So whatever the issues are that Utica's dealing with, and Mick just like said some really interesting stuff about, like, you know, I used to hide behind my white makeup and then I come here, and she's like, I've just learned, like, I don't have time to worry about that. Just like take it in and move forward. And I was like, oh, I love that. I love that a lot.
Absolutely. And I do think there is a certain element of Utica. She's from a small town. Like, she said it in the lyrics to the song, like in episode whatever that was, where she wrote the lyrics. She's like, I'm just from a small town. And she kind of, this is like way more exposure to the world than she's ever had, you know? So I think there is a certain amount of like lesson learning that kind of has to happen, but we should just extend her a little grace. I don't think that she, you know, intended to like be offensive. She's just not funny. That's okay.
She's just not funny. It's just not funny. Yeah, no, I'm happy to have gotten to know her and watch her, but I totally understand it was her time to go. So we are left with Simone, Candy, Rose, Olivia.
Oh. And Gottmik.
And Gottmik.
See, I thought you were going to hit the top four as the first four. I thought you were going to say, we got Candy, we got Simone, we got Rose, and we got Gottmik, and then we got Olivia. Because to me, Olivia's the next to go. Like I said, her trajectory is a bit downward aiming right now, I would say.
I am shocked by this.
Me too.
It was only like week 2 or 3 that I was like, oh, I think Olivia's like the little sneaky assassin keeping up here. And for most of the season, I thought she was Final Four. But also most of the season, I did not think Candy was Final Four. And so here we are.
Yeah.
Where I think you are right. I think the judges are like, please, can we get Candy in the Final Four here? I don't know if they're also saying, please, how do we get Candy to win this season? Is that what they're thinking?
Sarah, don't say that.
David, I mean, here we are with Final Four. Like, I don't know, how far does it go?
Here's what I'm hoping secretly, and I have no basis for hoping this or thinking that it might be possible, but I wonder if it's going to be a top 3 instead of a top 4, because they can't do the big live finale with, you know, well, they did do they sort of made the lip sync battle work to a certain extent, but they're not going to do the big live finale, you know? So maybe we could have a final 3 moment in this era of like, we can't be at a theater. It's going to just be in the studio, and it kind of is what it is, you know? So maybe Candy would be out at final 3. Not that I want her to be out necessarily, but I'm just sort of like, how did we get here, you know?
Look, I'm not saying I want her out. I just don't understand why she's still in. Like, she has delivered.
Said. Write that down.
I don't know how she's still walking down the runway. But there's other queens too that I was like, yes, it's your time to go. And they left. Like, that's just how it works. And to have someone still here that shows up in a green morph suit is just a bit mind-boggling. Nothing against Candy personally. It's just the drag. I'm just not seeing it. So
it's not personal. It's drag. That's right.
That's right. That's it. So yeah, we're at least assuming next week we go down to a Final Four. That we'll at least get.
Yeah.
And then what happens past that, we don't know.
We shall see.
Okay. Well, I'd say Olivia. I'd say Candy, in my opinion, goes next week, but I don't think that's happening. I think you're right. I think the judges are saying Olivia's going to go.
Yeah. I think that's where we're headed. We'll see, though.
Unless I wonder, David, is this a thing if they just were like, we got to just get Candy a win and then we can
let her go?
Is
that has happened. That's been, I mean, I can't name someone off the top of my head, but that's been a thing where it's like someone kind of has their moment and then it's like, okay, now we can let you go.
Right. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Yeah. Well, there we are.
There we are.
Manifesting chaos. Not, I didn't mean to, but
yeah.
Happening. Well,
look at us, Sarah. Before we went live, we were like, well, this is going to be short. There's no runway to talk about. And we have talked a full 46 minutes. Leave it to us.
Leave it to us. I watched the preview, but now I forget. I always forget. Why do I not write down what's coming up? I don't know.
True. I forgot to.
So you guys don't know, but something will come up this week and we'll watch it. And then we'll be back on Monday to talk about it.
How about that?
How about that? So tomorrow, though, I got BB Can with Jolene. Thursday, BB Can with David. So make sure you are subscribed. Don't forget to like the video, all that fun stuff.
All that stuff. Yes.
And for those of you who were with us live, thank you so much. We appreciate your comments, keeping us on our toes.
Yes, keeping us honest. And for those of you joining us later, let us know what you thought, especially if you disagree. We love hearing different opinions. If you loved Utica's set, let us know.
Please.
My God,
I would love to find the one person who liked it. I would. I would appreciate that. Oh, and thank you, Seth, for the reminder. We got Survivor Micronesia on Patreon. I forgot about that.
Yep. Still going.
If you want to join us, that's happening over there. All right. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Okay. Bye.